The expectation was that Napheesa Collier would be entering 2026 as the reigning MVP frontrunner and the golden architect of the most successful alternative league in women's sports. But the reality is a brutal combination of a physical breakdown, a massive financial standoff, and a war of words with league leadership that has put the entire 2026 season in jeopardy. On January 1, 2026, the basketball world woke up to a bombshell announcement. Napheesa Collier, the face of the Minnesota Lynx and co-founder of the Unrivaled League, would miss her own league's second season to undergo double ankle surgery. While the public was told this was a routine medical necessity, the timing and the receipts suggest a much deeper industry conflict. We have to ask the three questions that WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and the league's board of governors are terrified to answer. Why did Napheesa publicly label the WNBA's front office as the worst leadership in the world just as collective bargaining negotiations reached a breaking point? How did a private conversation about player compensation turn into a public PR war that has fans calling for the commissioner's resignation? And what did the Lynx organization know about the severity of Napheesa's injuries before they allowed her to play through the 2025 semifinals? Today, we are following the money, the legal threats, and the locker room fractures to reveal how Napheesa Collier became the most powerful and the most frustrated woman in professional basketball. To understand the shock value of this move, we have to look at the second most surprising factor first, the unrivaled leverage play that has changed the financial landscape of the sport. According to the Series B investment reports from late 2025, Napheesa's league is now valued at a staggering $340 million. This isn't just a 3-on-3 tournament, it is a direct challenge to the NBA's monopoly on talent. Per the TNT broadcast on January 5, 2026, Napheesa appeared in Florida and essentially issued an ultimatum to the WNBA. She stated that because she now knows what it takes to run a sustainable business through Unrivaled, the WNBA has no excuse for its current compensation models. She suggested that if the current leadership cannot find a way to make the league profitable for its players, they need to put people in place who can. This wasn't just a player talking. This was a rival league owner telling her boss that their time is up. The receipts show that Unrivaled is on track for a 48% increase in revenue this year, surpassing $40 million, while the WNBA is staring down a potential lockout. Napheesa is using her business success as a weapon in the boardroom, and it has made her the ultimate threat to the status quo. Now we get to the most shocking point of this entire saga, the nuclear winter of the NBA's leadership crisis. According to a scorched earth media conference held on October 1, 2025, and reported by CBC News, Napheesa Collier launched a blistering attack on Commissioner Cathy Engelbert that overshadowed the league's own finals. The conflict allegedly stems from a private conversation where Engelbert reportedly told Napheesa that players should be on their knees, thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal she secured. Napheesa's response was a public execution of the commissioner's credibility. She accused the league of a tone-deaf and dismissive approach to player safety and officiating inconsistency. But the real fire came when she revealed that after tearing 3 ligaments in her left ankle during the semifinals, she didn't receive a single call or text from the commissioner. Per the statements from Napheesa's agent, the only outreach from the league office was a message from a subordinate claiming that physical play does not contribute to injuries. This dismissal of a star player's health while she was being carried off the court is what turned a contract negotiation into a personal vendetta. The third point we must address is the injury cover-up and the collapse of the Lynx's championship window. According to the medical recovery timeline provided by ESPN on January 1, 2026, Napheesa is facing a 4 to 6 month recovery period after undergoing surgery on both ankles. This news was a massive reversal from just weeks prior, when Napheesa told reporters she believed surgery would not be necessary. The reality, per the internal team reports, is that she had been playing on a sprained right ankle since early August and a severely torn left ankle since late September. The Lynx front office allowed their superstar to push through the pain in a desperate attempt to reach the finals, a move that backfired when she was forced to miss the deciding Game 4. By the time the dust settled, Napheesa wasn't just out of the playoffs, she was out for the entire 2026 Unrivaled season. This physical toll has fueled her anger towards the league's officiating, which she says plagues our sport and undermines its integrity. She's no longer just fighting for a check, she's fighting for a system that won't leave her best players in the operating room. As we move into the fourth and fifth factors of this industry play, we see the ripple effect on the WNBA's labor negotiations. Per the reports from Clutch Points on December 16, 2025, the WNBA and the Players Union failed to reach an agreement by the initial deadline, leading to a status quo period of deep uncertainty. Napheesa, serving as a vice president of the union, has admitted to feeling deep frustration. The players are reportedly asking for double the revenue share that the league is proposing. Because Napheesa has the receipts from her own league's profitability, she's leading a strike vote that could shut down the entire 2026 season. Industry analysts like Jim Suhan have called this a nuclear winter for the sport. If a deal isn't reached by the new deadlines, the expansion draft and the start of free agency will be completely halted. Napheesa is standing firm, stating on national television that the players are not going to back down. The sixth point is the emergence of Project B, a second rival league that is currently looming over the industry. Per the Sports Illustrated report from January 2026, the competition for star power has reached an all-time high. While Unrivaled has secured 75% of its roster through 2028, the loss of Napheesa on the court is a major blow to the league's star power. With big names like Caitlin Clark and Ajaya Wilson currently sitting out of the 3-on-3 circuit, the pressure on Napheesa to maintain the league's momentum from the sidelines is immense. She's currently balancing her role as a patient, a union leader, and a league co-founder, all while being an unrestricted free agent in the WNBA. According to the Times of India, she might even miss the start of the 2026 WNBA season, which would leave the Minnesota Lynx without their engine for the most critical year in franchise history. Furthermore, we must look at the specific allegations of negligent governance. Napheesa's public statements weren't just about money, they were about the very structure of the WNBA. She told reporters on October 1, 2025, that the league's leadership is negligent in its duty to protect the players. This sentiment was echoed by her coach, Cheryl Reeve, who was slapped with a record $15,000 fine and a suspension after her own scorched earth critique of the officials. The internal culture of the Lynx has become one of defiance against the league office. Per the analysis from Boardroom, Napheesa has transitioned from being a player to being a change maker who understands that exposure without equity is exploitation. She's rewriting the definition of what a professional athlete can be by refusing to accept the luck narrative that the commissioner tried to sell her. The impact of this saga on 2026 season cannot be overstated. If Napheesa Collier is the one who finally breaks the NBA's resistance to higher revenue sharing, she will be remembered as the most influential figure in the history of the Players Union. But if the negotiations fail and a strike occurs, she will be at the center of the most damaging work stoppage the sport has ever seen. Per the Star Tribune, the commissioner is disheartened by the characterization of their relationship, but the fans on social media have largely sided with the players, with many demanding a leadership change at the top. The war of words has reached heights never seen before in the WNBA, and the receipts show that the players are better prepared for a fight than ever before. In summary, the Napheesa Collier story isn't just about a double ankle surgery or a missed season of 3-on-3 basketball. It is a case study in how the new generation of athletes are using business equity and public accountability to dismantle old power structures. We saw how a star player turned a private insult into a public movement, and how she used the success of her own league to prove that the old way of doing business is no longer sustainable. The insider takeaway is clear. In the 2026 basketball industry, the players own the narrative, and if the leadership doesn't adapt, they will be replaced by the very people they're trying to control. Napheesa Collier has proven that she's more than just a power forward. She's a power broker who's willing to risk her own season to save the future of the game. If you want to understand the deeper games being played behind the scenes of these massive labor negotiations and the secret financial models that are making Unrivaled a multi-hundred-million-dollar threat, you need to know how the rest of the league is preparing for the potential lockout. To get the full picture of how money, manipulation, and medical receipts are reshaping the sport, you have to see our breakdown of the other industry secrets that the mainstream media is too afraid to touch. We have the internal documents and the union updates that show where the next bomb will drop. Make sure to check out the Court Vision Rope Industry Secrets playlist as your essential next step to understanding how the game is really played.